through our customers, we found out that energy efficiency and conservation are just, these carbon credits are much more.
From the Philippines, actually this is very...
So you presented a slide of the challenges that you face with us.
Solar rooftop or solar panel in Pakistan. Why not?
Assalamualaikum, a very warm good afternoon to all our participants, both here from Pakistan as well as our international guests with long distance from gave us their pleasure of their presence here. So, my name is Naveed Arshad, and I am going to be talking about not that glamorous topic, but nonetheless very important, and that's energy efficiency and conservation. And what I'm going to talk about is our journey in how we have helped a number of industries in the energy efficiency and conservation. But a journey that started out as just energy efficiency and conservation journey turned out to be much more. So I tell them, okay, what have we learned and how we have helped industries, and we'd like to keep this talk, you can say, quite interactive also, so we have some Q&A session as we had. So, if you can go to the next slide. So, Energy Institute is an autonomous institute within LUMS, which means that we have to earn our own funding, and LUMS is there to help us, but we are not a much burden, so we exist on our own, and we have a full-time staff of more than 100 people who are working on various projects. So, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, but if we can go to the next slide. So this slide is, you can say, a path towards the energy disruption that we are seeing around the world, but in particular in our country, Pakistan. And there are 6 pillars, you can say, of it, which we believe are making sure that we are going into that decarbonization energy transition world, starting with distributed generation. And distributed generation has played a key role. We have solar, wind, micro hydro, and others. Gas is another, and there are many others. But solar has come out to be the most prominent, most ubiquitous source of energy. Second is the role of batteries, which is completely transforming how the grid works, how the grid behaves, how the grid is, you can say, provides its services. Recently we did a study and we found 50 different places where batteries are going to be helping out the grid on the loads. 50 different use cases of batteries across generation, transmission, distribution. The third one is the one that is probably more common now in Pakistan because of the, you can say, the scenario that we have, is the concept of virtual power plants. In other words, these are microgrids. It could be one house, it could be one factory, it could be anything that is within a boundary, and they're generating and using their own electricity, and they are able to sell it outside and buy it from outside. So that's virtual power plant is another, you can say, pillar. The fourth one is the one where we have a very strong, you can say, background in our institute, and that's energy informatics. In other words, it's the data analytics and AI. And when we have a lot of data and AI, you can do very interesting things, and starting from the efficiency and conservation. Now, many people think that why this, how this solar battery revolution is unfolding. If I say this is modularity that is making it happen. We have solar panels of every kind, every size, every use case available, and we have batteries of every size, every kind, and every use case available. Combine them, you have so much power that you can create or fulfill needs of every need where the energy is needed and wherever it's industry or household or whatever. Now, where is Pakistan rate? I'll just take 2 slides here and then I'll move on to the energy efficiency and conservation part. Next slide. This is a graph of solar imports in Pakistan in the last 2 years. So if you look at this one, you see a peak. Well, this one is Germany, by the way, the gold line. And the grey line is Pakistan. So the last 2 years, something happened, and Pakistan has imported and installed so many solar energy panels that in the last 2 years it has surpassed the total solar installation. The total solar installation in the whole of Africa. So in the 54 countries of Africa on one side,
and solar on one side, in Pakistan, we have installed more solar than the complete African region. Now, the second very interesting aspect of this project is where the solar is installed. So this solar is not installed at the grid scale. Almost all of it is downside of the meter. So industries, businesses, households, they have utilized the solar downside of the meter. So Pakistan is one of those countries where now we are producing more than 25% of our energy from solar. And that's not upside of the meter, but downside of the meter. That's it's a very rare case in the world. But it's an example of global south and how we can use solar. Next one, there's a recent study by an organization in Pakistan called Pride. They did a satellite mapping because, of course, there's a very large number of people. It's very hard to believe people that we just smuggled in Afghanistan and Central Asia and others, or maybe these numbers are not right numbers. So they did a satellite study and they have looked at major areas of Pakistan and looked at how much solar has been installed, because solar is not something you can find. So satellite images contain that. So they have estimated now that in total, the whole country, the solar installation is about 33 gigawatts. This is almost coming from 5 gigawatt and 33 gigawatt in just 2 years. And majority of it, of course, is in the industrial scale, but there are other commercial and industrial also are quite common. Residential also is very large. The current data shows that every month we are installing about 1 to 1.5 gigawatt peak of solar. So I think it's around 15 gigawatt peak by the end of this year. And that's a very large number from any perspective. Now, installing solar is easy part, but solar requires a lot of other effort. You cannot just install solar and make sure you're green, or you are energy efficient, or you are saving your bill. So we started out about 4 years ago in an effort that how we can help industry in achieving their energy efficiency and conservation. And the next slide, please. And we found out that industry is facing a number of challenges. They are facing high electricity bills. So electricity bills are very high. Pakistan is much higher than any of our city economy. And that's one reason why people are installing solar. The second is high maintenance costs from the equipment that they are using in their industries, especially motors. 75% of all the load we found out is motor load, and because of that, they have no productivity, and there is an absence of data which can help them to improve this situation. And the data is available at a monthly level or a very, very coarse-grained level of fine-grained data is not available. And they have also complained to us that while they install these solar, the solar is not performing as good. So, can you help us there? Solar installed a lot, but the performance is not that great. And also, we have found that the jet sets and generator sets, sometimes we just use them for backup power and others. That's also not optimally utilized. And the final one is that now, because ESS is now coming up, they would like to see that how can we move into solar plus battery combination, which is the next step from solar. Next slide. Now, traditionally what we do is that we go to an industry and perform an energy audit. That's, you can say, the state of the art thing. There are different ways of performing an energy audit. But energy audit is really something which is a one intervention. And once that intervention is gone, again there is a time when the inefficiencies creep in. And then you perform another energy audit after 1 to 3 years, and then this cycle continues. So what we wanted to do is to fix this through making sure that once the energy audit is performed, we do not go back into the same situation where energy is going to be utilized more. So it should be a continuous improvement. And you cannot do it without the instrumentation of the whole industrial complex or whatever entity that we are looking at. So we have developed this energy monitoring process which makes sure that you have some incremental cost, maybe 5% cost or whatever it is, but overall then you are going to be saving all along the way. and then you can do some investments along the way to improve your motors, to improve your other equipment, which will save you further. But you have, all along the way, you find out that, okay, this is the cost that I'm paying, and how can I reduce it? And the goal is not to go back to that level, which in the traditional energy audit world, which we have seen that. Another problem is, energy audit also does not tell them what to do. Sometimes they give general feedback, but not exactly what to do. What are the alternates? What are the newer alternates that we also work on? Next slide, please. So we look at it from a surveillance point of view, that energy is actually a camera into the world of operations. And if you get energy, you can find out whether a motor is working correctly or not, whether something is going to be faulty or not, if you need preventive maintenance, whether you need it or not. So it's like a camera, but it is on the energy side of things. But through energy, you can find out so many other things. You can find out how many water you are using, how much of different inputs you are using, what is the ratio between input and output, and other. Next slide. So we have developed a customized software which checks all this at a very fine grain. And if you can do the next slide. So we have developed a 4-step model, which is, you can say, an improvement on traditional energy audits. So if I say that what traditional audits do, they do 0.5 step of what we are doing right now. So we of course start with energy audit, but we start with collecting data and fine-grained collecting data of that. So if and whenever we go to industry, we present to them this the step 1, which we call step 1, where we have to do an initial survey. It's an energy audit plus many other things, and then we present a report to them. And if they, you can say, like the report, they want to go to the next step, they can go, they can get to it themselves. It's up to them. So we have completely not any kind of compulsion of whether they want to go with us or not. At step 2, we install, you can say, the fine-grained data collection at some of the major points, and then start collecting data. And then in step 3, we go and analyze data. And step 4, there's a continuous monitoring. So all these steps, what we are doing is that we are collecting more fine-grained data and doing more deep analysis of how we can help them to reach energy efficiency even more. Now, in order to do that, of course, there's not just hardware. The more important part is in the software, the data, and the AI side. So hardware you can devise, you can create, you can use anyone, but the data and AI is where the magic is happening. Right? So the system works very non-intrusively. So it has just have to connect it on wires. The CTs are connected on the wires. It is not a single line that we have to stop. Even at live circuits, we have some time on this without any issue. And then we collect all this data and then present it to the customer that, okay, this is what we do, this is how you can achieve it. So these are the areas where you have to improve upon. These are fine, you don't have to do anything for a certain time. Maybe after 3 years, you need to do something there. Next slide. Now, this is just an example of how we work. So every motor, every device has a certain signature in terms of energy. So since we are getting data at a very fine grain, sometime at a second or sometime below that, we know exactly that how our motor should start and how should it work in a normal situation. Now, once we know that data, you can use this thresholding to find out whether the motor is behaving badly or not. And even if there is a possibility of something going wrong, the motor gives its signals even beforehand, much before that human can identify. And while this pattern looks similar to a human, there are many other patterns that the AI can find for us through deep learning, which typically you cannot do. Normal data analytics techniques do not provide that to us. So this is something where the AI really comes in handy, where we can actually just give them, okay, this is what it should be, and it tells very interesting observations of how this motor can go wrong or where it can behave improperly. Next slide. So AI, of course, we are using a number of places for forecasting, machine efficiency benchmarking, bill forecasting, But I told you that initially we started out as an organization, so we have this startup from LUMS Energy Institute that is doing energy efficiency and conservation. But over the last 4 years, through our customers, we found out that energy efficiency and conservation are just one use case of it. There are 20 other uses that our customers are using our platform for. And since it is a product that is continuously in research and development, we work with our customers on a daily basis and find out that how can we increase their productivity, increase their energy efficiency, and all that turns into that our product is getting much smarter than the last time we took it. Next slide. This is our tech journey in 2022. We were using a US-based product called VPPs. In 2022, there was something in the economic side of Pakistan. There was an import ban. We were not able to import this product, so we developed our own. So now we have a hardware product as well as software product. But our software is the main part. We can work with any hardware product. It's not a requirement that somebody has to use our hardware product. But that is something that is quite affordable in the local industry because sometimes the SMEs have in terms of affordability, but then also we can provide those. Next slide. So far, we have worked with almost 200 industrial partners, and this includes SMEs, includes large-scale manufacturing companies. This includes financial industry. This includes food industry. This includes real estate developers, and many other that. So every day we have another customer that we have to learn from and how to solve. Now, the most important part, which the slide that I would like to show you, next slide please. So we started out as an energy efficiency and conservation use case. But it turned out that that was just one part. Industry also looking at sometimes the machines are used improperly. Sometimes the machines are abused. And they want to find out. And through the energy signature, we can find out that. We can also find out about the benchmarking of their productivity. How are they doing compared to other industry, or within the industry, how one part is doing compared to the other one. That also gives them a lot of insight. We also are looking into power system stability analysis. That's obviously pure power work that is providing alerts and reminders. So there are automatic alerts and reminders if there's a maintenance due or some other procedure they have to do. That is automatic. What forecasting? Much earlier than the machine is going bad, we can tell them that okay, there is some problem coming in this machine, so you better fix it or look at it. What's the issue? And maintenance scheduling. Another problem is how efficient the genset is, because gensets are something that are used quite randomly. So they can have the accountability of how much fuel goes into it, how much time they have run, and they have allocated the fuel exactly, and there's no filtration that goes on. Solar battery sizing and planning. By knowing more inside data, you can develop a better solar. You can know you do not have to do over designing the system. That saves the cost. Once the solar is installed and the battery is installed, then the efficiency of solar and batteries are also important. For example, in Pakistan, one of the major problems with solar is dust accumulation. And you don't know when you have to clean. If you clean too much, it means you're wasting water. If you clean less, you are producing less energy. So what's the optimum where you have to clean your solar panels and similar other emissions inventory? That's another big thing in some industry where we can tell exactly that how much tier 1 and tier 2 emission, scope 1 and scope 2 emission in some cases, your industry is actually emitting. So if you are doing some energy efficiency and saving emission, you can actually show it that you have saved this much emission. And once you show it, reduce those emissions, you can claim carbon credits. And through this, you can have very quality carbon credits that you can claim. These carbon credits are much more expensive than the other ones where it's chemistry. Local energy billing, so there are many different departments. They can do billing. One of the real estate companies are working with us to do billing of gensets that they use, billing of solar that they use. Those are newer use cases that have come up. Then power system, Yeah, energy arbitrage. So you can buy energy at a cheaper rate, use it in your company and use microgrid, power system health. So many of the you can say different components of the power system. You can find out that how his health is and do some measures and things right. Sometimes from the utility companies, the bills have issues. Sometimes they are overbilling you. So you can even confirm whether your bill is billed you right or not. If it's certain percentages, it should not be billed more. So you can go and ask them to fix it. That's another use. Investment optimization and deferrals. With all this, you don't have to do certain investments at a certain time. You can delay it because the machines can work for a longer period of time. So investment decisions and deferrals can also improve the bottom line of the organization. So in Pakistan, there is a new requirement of ESG reporting. So many companies are using this for ESG reporting, that this much energy they have used, this much energy they have saved. So that gives a good indication to stock market and regulators that they're using. And if you do all this, you are already doing enough for ISO 50001 certification. You don't need to do much more except maybe applying for the certificate. And with less HR, because you don't need that many people to take care of the different aspects of these things. So less HR and there are less chances of human error. And finally, Pakistan is quite high in terms of energy intensity. So that can reduce energy intensity, which means that we should use less energy to produce more productivity. So all these use cases, and there are some others which I have not mentioned here, which just in the last 4 years the industry has helped seek our help to develop. So now the software can or our system can do all these use cases depending on what our clients and customers are. So next slide. So thank you very much. I'll stop here. We have 5 minutes for any question answers.
I'm Engineer Jonathan Sanman from the Philippines. Actually, this is very good information because I also represent as the National President of the Energy Efficiency Practitioner Association of the Philippines. No? And my thinking is this is a technology using AI. And of course, all the information that can be measured is what is most important because from where we are at now and with the information being delivered by this software, it can give us the gaps. And from these gaps, analysis can be taken, right? So it's good. What I saw is solar, but will this software or including the hardware be available for the interest of the Philippine market? I mean, because we are the organization who actually helps the Department of Energy to comply with the Republic Act 11285, which is otherwise known as the Energy Conservation Act. And of course, this is really looking into how different industries and manufacturing companies can save on energy.
So, very good question. So, we are sector agnostic. So, any sector is included. And this is kind of an open source problem. You can just take it, use it, whatever you like. If you ask our help, we can tell you, but I don't know Philippines have the name of the country and the capital name. So you can, I have my team here.
Yes.
They can stand and we can hammer this here and these guys
Hello.
are the real world process. I'm just trying to present, but they have developed this tool or from the bottom up. So you can contact them with me.
Thank you so much. The market is, the organization are representing actually trained energy managers. And basically this is by law required in the Philippines that each of the company should have one certified energy manager. And this tool will be very, very important on how this energy manager can actually handle this energy management system. It's very good. We will be looking forward to this information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My name is Leo from Indonesia. You were just talking about the solar panel, right? as a numeric source, understand, based on your observation, your experience. What's the biggest product in terms of solar panel? I mean, in terms of solar rooftop or solar farm, Pakistan. And why I'm touching this because you're going to be related to the net metering incentive. There is any plan to provide incentives for the investors. Net metering incentives.
Right. So thank you very much. Very good question. Almost out of this 33 gigawatt, 8 gigawatt is net metering. The rest is without net metering. And the reason why it is without net metering is that in Pakistan, the regulations only allow net metering up to a certain level of voltage. So above 11 kV, I believe it's not allowed. So any industry that's connected at 11 kV, for example, this our university is not net metered, although we have a lot of solar. So these are just small residential connection up to I believe 1 megawatt that they allow net metered. But the regulations have turned out to be really good. So people have overused it. So now the regulations will probably change. But I think the influx of solar we're not going to see changing because of the battery factor. The batteries are so cheap now that it can just, net metering or not, people probably will go towards the solar plus battery. And even large industries are looking at that.
Hello everyone. My name is Pasna, I'm from PG. So actually I just started the questions in another direction because the previous two questions that I asked from developed countries. So my country is just adopting, my country is pretty much developing. So I'm interested in knowing, sir, you presented a slide on the challenges that you face in regards to the energy data collection in energy sector. So that is very much relevant to my country. We face the same challenges. So maybe you could help us understand how you overcame those challenges.
So the biggest challenge that we faced was in certain industries we were not getting help in collecting data. So in every industry or every organization we go, we make sure that the top management, which is the really top management, the chairman and CEO level, they are willing to do this. Because if you do not have that kind of buy-in, it's very difficult to do it from the side because it just adds more work for them. So we go to the top and we get their buy-in, and then things are pretty okay. The second thing we do is that we try to give them confidence that it's not going to take away your job. It's going to improve your productivity. You will be able to do more in less time. That also gives them confidence. And then there are other, you can say, humanistic things that we do. We try to give them a more humanistic insights that they will be able to. So I think security is a very important thing. And finally, when they get the result, we provide them alternates also. That okay, if you replace this motor with that one or this or that technology, you'll be able to save this much. You know, the most important thing for the industry is how much money I'm going to invest, how much is give back, what's the payback. That's the only thing. We are not interested in green and green. They are interested, yes, because of regulation they may, but their important thing is how to improve product. But when you add energy efficiency, you're automatically saving money. So we give them exact dollar numbers that this is the amount that you're going to save over this period. If you invest this one, you will recover your investment in X or Y. So those help us. But I think we can talk more about that. All right, thank you very much. I think we are